Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. I am Farial and I'm basically from Pakistan. My Monga is the K2, which is the second tallest peak on the face of the earth. My Awa is the River Indus, one of the most ancient river systems of the world. My Iwi is the Pathan, a race of fearless warriors who have stood guard over the northwestern frontiers of India and Pakistan for centuries. And I come from a family where my matua has taught me to believe in myself, to be independent, to hold my head high under all circumstances. And my fire told me to believe in God before anything else and be kind and be humble. And as you can evidently see, I am a Muslim by faith and in practice. So that was my attempt of a mihi. And I got hired as a community support worker at a Kaupapa Māori health agency, and they told me that mihi is actually a snapshot, or you could say a way of telling who walks with you in your journey. So I guess now you know who walks with me, and I'd like to tell you a bit more about my journey. When I opened the chapter of New Zealand 3.5 years back, I had no idea what my story was going to be like, but I had a good expectation that, yeah, it's going to be easy. I know English, I'm pretty cool, I'll fit in, I'll make a lot of friends. And as I tried to mingle in, the first preconceived notion or assumption that came up was that people thought I don't know English. And when I would try to converse with them, they'd be like, how come your English is so good? Like, yeah, it is. Anyways, but I kept discovering that there were so many things that people had in their head about my dress, about my religion, about my culture, and everything. And it just added to keep them, away from me. They kept their distance from me, and maybe because they just didn't know how to approach me or talk to me or do whatever. And pretty soon I just had, I made friends with only people who either looked like me or had the same religious belief as me, which was pretty sad for me because I am that kind of person who wants to be part of the greater fabric of the society. And I wanted to belong to Christchurch, not just an odd patch somewhere. So I took it upon myself that, okay, I'm going to change this. How do I change this? So I started by, inviting people into my home. I started off with my neighbors, and one of my neighbors is here. She's an amazing friend. And I figured it out that I let people experience my traditions, my cuisine, my festivals. And I would just, turn up at every parent meetup in my kids' school, put my hand up for all social activities, volunteer wherever I could, just because I wanted people to see me in a very different light, rather than have to, put some preconceived notions on me and stay away. So, but it was tough. I just couldn't really work past a lot of barriers, and it was at that time that all those who walked with me encouraged me. Like, I was, I felt the way I had to be as tall as K2, I had to be as loud as Indus, and I had to be as brave as the Pathan people, because I just had to go on. I couldn't really stay that way in the shadows or be isolated. I just couldn't do that. And I think I did succeed, because when the incident of 15th March happened, I got calls, phone calls, texts, emails from everybody who I had just come across in the school, in my neighborhood, in the wider community. And the gifts, the cards, the baking, the hugs, the tears, they told me that I had managed to connect. And I had managed to touch the lives of so many people by just being me. I didn't have to change. I didn't have to alter anything about me. I just let people come to terms with my truths in their own way, at their own pace. And that's for all of us. We try to be different. We want to stand out from the crowd. But I want to be valued, not just for my differences, but for the similarities, because after all, I'm just like anybody else. I'm just human. Thank you.